Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the podcast. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Enkindled Columbus. Now on to episode 10 with Frankie Soleil.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out episode 10 of the Enkindled Columbus Podcast. My name's Zach.
And this is Alonzo, and today we're with Mark, Frankie, Bryan of Frankie Soleil.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
How's it going?
Oh, I'm living the dream.
His stereotypical answer for every time anybody asks that
I'm not
question
sad.
Yet.
That's how I feel.
Complete
Yet
silence. Yeah. I've only cried like 4 times, so I mean, it's
a good day so
yeah.
far. It's a good day so
Me
far.
too.
He's an emotional man.
Yeah. Well, we're super excited. I know we were just talking right before we turned on the microphones about getting something worked out. We finally did it. It feels good.
Oh, yeah.
You guys finished your recent tour of all of July, right?
So it started July 18th and ended August 4th, but like we had a lot of like breaks in between. So there was a total of 10 shows. Over that span of time.
Well, it was actually August 3rd because the August 4th show.
Oh yeah, so
our
August
last
3rd.
show got canceled, but it's okay.
Yeah, because I got
done
laryngitis and
Oh, that's not cool.
no,
Especially-
it was not cool.
Especially for a vocalist, that's like, that's like the worst thing that could possibly
Yeah, the
happen.
last 2 shows that we did, my vocals were dying. Like during the day, I could not speak, and I just had to push through it for the shows at night. But like we did it, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
Well, that's,
Oh, yeah.
sorry to hear that.
It's okay. We're doing great.
You look over Mark and Bryan like, yeah, we got scurvy somehow too. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, oh gosh. So out of these 10 shows, like what was the process of booking everything, leaving Columbus and going into, like, how'd you guys score these shows?
So we got lucky. This guy named Daniel Spence, he friended me on Facebook like a year ago. And I saw, this was like, I think it was right after we played our first show. I saw that he posted like, hey, we're doing a tour in the Midwest. If you want to open for us at any shows, message me. I told Frankie about this, and I was like, ask him if we can just do like the entire tour with him. And we did, the entire tour with him.
That's what happened. Yeah.
It was
Basically, we just got kind of lucky.
very
and
easy,
went
but
with
we
it.
got very lucky. It usually doesn't
Yeah.
happen that way.
Yeah, it's like a dream come true. Like,
Yeah.
all the
Especially
busy
it was
work
after
taken
like
off.
our first show together as a band that
And
we
then
like.
boom, right
this-
into it.
Yeah, like so before the tour we did 2 shows together, and then we did a tour. So
Now, do you think because of this tour, do you think that really kind of put even more spotlight on your music? Because I know there's four singles on Spotify only, right?
there's 4. Yeah.
So
Can't
what'd you
count.
guys play for these shows? And if you had the 4 songs, or you had some covers in there, or more originals and just not recorded yet, or?
So
Answer this one.
if you want to go for it, go for it.
So obviously, Frankie's background was very singer-songwriter, and when she came to Bryan and kind of had this idea of trying to put together a band to support her, Bryan and I obviously had to like come in and take a look at the parts of the songs and the singles that she released, and then other songs that she hadn't released by then, and we kind of had to try to add our own style, vibe. We pretty much had to like rewrite them into a rock setting.
Oh, okay.
So we did that. We played with tracks, so that was really helpful. They were. I think they were.
Yeah, so we did all originals other than one.
Yeah, we did a cover.
So we did play some that aren't released yet, which will come before the end of the year.
Okay.
Yep.
Keep a lookout for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was all originals other than one, and we did our own version of All Time Low by John Bellion.
Okay.
And,
I know, like, that's cool. So that's a totally different.
Yeah,
vibe
so we kind of did like
there.
a rock version of that, and yeah, it was really fun. So I think we did like 7 songs each show. And
Okay, that's not bad. Well,
Yeah.
So like about a 40-minute set then?
It was a 30-minute set,
30
yeah.
minutes, 30
Yeah.
minutes? Okay. Well, awesome. That's super
Yeah.
cool. So I guess from playing those first 2 shows in Columbus, what's it like leaving Columbus? So what's different? You explain the crowd, people?
I think that it's the thing that, like, when you're in your own city, you kind of have a little bit more control over how the show's gonna go. And then when you go to another city, it's like you don't know what to expect. It's not your show.
Yeah, you're a
so
guest.
It's like, yeah, you're a guest. So you're just kind of, it's a lot of, like, waiting around, just waiting for people to tell you where to go, what to do, and then you never know what, like, the audience is going to be like. Because, like, of course, in some cities we could pool people, but there were going to be cities where we couldn't because we're not from there. So.
Yeah,
right.
But it was definitely a lot of kind of hoping for the best and, like, making the best out of everything that we did. So...
Yeah.
Which I think we did.
Yeah, I think we did
To the
pretty
best
good.
of our ability.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. I mean, so from the start of this project, how'd you guys all come together then, and then how'd it lead to that tour after the first 2 shows? Sorry,
So-
I asked a bunch of questions.
No, it's fine. So Frankie posted on Snapchat probably in like October of last
remember
year.
that.
Hey, I remember that's how exactly it happened. So Frankie posted on
didn't know
Snapchat
how
that she
you-
wanted to start a band and she was looking for people. And I reached out to her.
I want to start a band.
She was
feel
like
exposed.
she was wanting to like work with people to like be in a band setting to play her music. And it was right before I went to the recording workshop, and I told her, I was like, I'm about to do this. I'll be gone for 7 weeks, but once I get back, I'm totally down. And so it kind of just like sat to the side for like 2 or 3 months, and then we finally got it back up and running, and we got Mark. And for our first show, we had a bass player,
Yeah.
but he was just temporary to begin with. And after that first show, we decided to go to using tracks.
Okay.
And
I
That's
think
pretty much how it
one fun connection that you didn't mention. Bryan and I have worked a lot with each other in the last 3 years-ish.
Yeah.
We were in a band, Threat Level Midnight.
At Level Midnight.
Yeah.
Like
Which is
oh,
awesome,
like,
by the way. I
yeah.
listened after you talked to me about that at the recording workshop.
Yeah.
And, yeah, Threat Level Midnight, definitely awesome.
Yeah, it was
Thank you.
a good experience. And I've definitely enjoyed my time playing with Bryan. I'm glad that I got to meet such a good rhythm guitarist. Sorry, was that a roast?
thanks, Mark.
Are you throwing some dirt? Let me clean the table real quick.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, you've been doing a lot lately as far as shows go. I mean, you
Yeah.
play bass. What's that all about?
I play bass for a country artist named Jacob Lonis.
Okay.
He's doing a lot of good things right now, and our schedule's about to get a lot fuller. I think we have 2 weekends booked in Pittsburgh already, doing back-to-back shows at the Tequila Cowboy there. And I'm booked a lot of the weekends up to the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited.
Well, yeah, it seems like from Instagram, everything I've been seeing, I mean, you're all over the place.
Yeah,
It's really cool, though.
I think I'm probably going to be doing over 100 shows.
Damn,
this
dude, that's
year.
insane.
It's
Wow.
going
That's
to be
insane.
crazy.
Has this been your biggest year as far as shows
Oh,
and all
by
that
far.
stuff?
Like,
yeah.
this is the biggest stepping stone I've ever done, and it's fantastic.
Yeah,
Like,
you loving it?
oh, yeah. I want to quit my job like,
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah, well, doesn't seem like you're too far away from it, so keep that up.
yeah.
Super good to hear.
Now, with going on tour, what were the biggest challenges of going on tour? What was the hardest part of that?
Driving.
The driving?
Well,
Yeah.
he drove.
I drove
he
the
drove the
entire
entire way.
Did you guys
So he's
take
not just
take
a
a
rhythm
van?
guitarist.
Or?
He's a chauffeur also.
We did not.
No, we took my mom's Honda CRV.
Oh, there you go.
We
Yes.
had only 3 seats available, and we were literally
Barely a
packed to
seat
the
for
brim.
Mark.
Yeah,
Mark
I
sat
was
in the
shoved
back,
in the
like
back.
in this corner. That's
Yeah,
it.
and we
Yeah.
packed it to the brim and had a
Yeah.
luggage rack on the back
Yeah.
for our merch.
Which we didn't even really use the luggage rack that much, but it's like if we didn't have it, there's one thing that did not
Yeah.
fit in the car.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of the situation we were in.
yeah, but
So that was a challenge.
that was that and we had good shows. Like, I wouldn't say there's many challenges. There weren't any really stressful times at all, or
No, like gig malfunctions,
Well,
anything like
In
that?
the
No.
beginning, we thought the tracks weren't going to work.
Oh, yeah.
At the
we-
first
we
show,
did
we
our last
had to
re-
like start checking them.
we did our last rehearsal before the tour without tracks.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
so
the
then-
tracks did
Yeah,
not
they
work
just
at
didn't
rehearsal.
work.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
morning we were
So then you just like pray to God, like,
Yeah,
please.
Basically.
That's what
but
we did.
we
yeah.
never had an issue
Yeah.
on tour, so that was good.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
really
we
good.
We
didn't.
figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think that another one is like when you show up to a venue that you've never been to before and you're not sure what to expect. There was a venue that we played at that like people were allowed to smoke inside,
Oh, really?
yeah,
and we weren't allowed to go in at
Fort
all.
Wayne. Yeah,
because we weren't 21, so we could only go in when we were playing, and then we had to leave again. So we sat outside for like 5-ish hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was a good day though.
It was fun. Like, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
it was just it's things like that where like you make the best out of it, but you aren't expecting it. So
You can never really plan for something like that.
Exactly. But like I feel like we got lucky.
I also
we
I had a cable break at that show too, but that was the only beer malfunction. Other than that,
yeah. Luckily,
other
we
than that,
were
it was
near
pretty successful.
Sweetwater.
Yeah,
so.
we were near Sweetwater. It was in Fort Wayne.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we just
Okay.
went to
Oh, yeah, that's
Sweetwater
awesome.
the next day.
What's it like going from a solo artist to with a group? Like, what was the biggest change of your songwriting? Are you writing songs for a group now? Or?
Yeah. So it's different. Before, like, the thing about being a solo artist is like you don't have anybody you have to talk to about what you're doing. Like, you make all of your own decisions. You don't have to like have people like make sure you can be at certain places at certain times. Like, there's less communication and stuff. In songwriting, for me, it's easy, but it gets really boring because when you do have like extra people to throw ideas off of each other, it gets a lot more interesting. And I think that music is definitely like when you have people like that, it ends up being better. Because
There's so much more.
yeah,
more
like
minds
even,
for the creative
even like
process.
super famous solo artists, like they don't write all their music by themselves. They have people that help them.
Yeah, you have
and,
a
like,
team that
yeah,
helps
exactly.
build you
so
up.
I think that it's been a lot better for me as an artist being in a group because it's helped me like kind of push myself to do better, be better, all that stuff. And Bryan is always FaceTiming me all the time. He FaceTimes me at least 5 times a day because he always has something he needs to tell me. But that's like good because it keeps me doing shit. Sorry,
Yeah.
can I cuss on this?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
It's over. I'm just cutting that.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
This podcast is explicit as fuck.
Family show.
But
Did Bryan not tell you?
no, if it was, he would have told me because I have a horrible mouth. So like he would have made sure to tell me.
No, you can cuss. Yeah.
Okay,
Please just no
great.
hate speech. We got it's hard to edit it out and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
We already have a hard enough time censoring him.
It happens more than you think. No.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, overall, I think it's definitely like being a solo artist is fun, but you can only do so much as a solo artist without a band.
Yeah,
like that's
absolutely.
like you can play shows, but like I think my producer Jacob Mooney once said, he was like, when you're a solo artist, you'll always be the opener. Like that's kind of the thing. Like when you only play
Right.
guitar and you sing on stage, like you'll always be the opener.
Well, there's some places that like might not even let you play because they're looking for like that full
Exactly.
group.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
you're kind of restricting yourself in some ways.
Exactly. That's basically why I decided to.
You said
start
that you
there.
got denied shows.
Yeah, I
multiple
did. I got
times.
denied shows because it was just like, I mean, obviously, like if they're not looking for that, then they're not looking for that.
Right.
Like you can't argue with them.
Yeah.
Like that's just it. And so I don't know. It was fun and it was great for a while, but eventually you just kind of have to evolve, I guess.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So, I mean, prior to you all coming together, how long have you been making music on your own?
Since I was like 13.
Okay.
12 or 13 is when I like officially started like playing shows. I started on ukulele. I was a ukulele girl.
Hey, that's the way to go.
But yeah, so I started when I was like 13. I played, I don't know if you're familiar with Kitamu. Okay, well, it was this coffee shop that was near my house, and their main thing was like music. Like they
Right.
had open mics, and their owner used to be like a manager for artists and stuff.
Okay.
So that's where I first started like playing shows and everything. That's also like where 21 Pilots played there, and
Yeah.
Walk the Moon before they were.
Okay, so that's really cool.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
just
Yeah.
yeah.
played their
Yeah.
first show there.
Threat Level Midnight played there too. So
Okay, yeah,
you
so
know.
it's a place with some
It's
cool
some
history.
I
iconic
love that.
band.
I
Very
love that
important to the
name
Hilliard
so much.
music scene.
I know Threat Level Midnight. I know.
Is Michael Scar in the
Yeah, it was a reference to The Office.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, but that's kind of where I got my start, and I think that
Yeah.
a lot of
Katamu was a
people
really
did.
good place.
Yeah,
It was a
Katamu
very.
great.
It was
Where
very-
was it at?
Like I said, it was in.
It's on Hilliard Rome. Yeah, Tin Apple Plaza, Hilliard Rome Road.
Oh, okay.
Near, kind of getting towards the double roundabouts over
Yeah.
by the schools and stuff. That's
Okay.
that area. But yeah, and when it closed down, it kind of like forced a bunch of people to like either do something else with music or
Yeah.
just not
Yeah.
not do anything. So I just decided to kind of do something else.
For
So.
sure. Now, who are your biggest inspirations? And we'll go down the line here. But we'll start with Frankie. Who are your biggest inspirations?
God, I hate this question.
Yeah, well, it's hard.
Their inspirations are like I don't know. I'm so bad about that because my thing about music is I just like good music. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So my problem, I was raised on the Grateful Dead and Dropkick Murphys and Johnny Cash and all of those bands, just the Carter Family. I was raised on folk music, so it's like when people ask about my inspiration, it's not what people expect.
Oh yeah, but I don't think a single person that has came on here has actually named off inspirations in their own genre. Every person we've ever talked to is
I don't know. I grew up listening to Eminem.
Yeah.
I'm not Eminem. I wanted to be when I was 7.
Yeah. Not yet.
But we're not there. And so it's a very interesting question because I feel like people just expect you to have very specific inspirations, especially when people aren't artists. Musicians get it. They're oh yeah, okay, cool, that makes sense. But whenever I get that question, it's always from somebody that at a show, and I'm like, what do you want from me?
And you're well, this isn't going to make any sense.
What do you want me to tell you? I'll tell you exactly what you want as long as we can end the conversation.
Right. How can I get out of this?
Do you want me to be honest, or do you want me to lie, Bryan? Because
no one's gonna talk to you at our shows anymore.
You heard it here on Enkindled. Don't talk to Frankie. Whatever you do.
Talk to
really
me.
Nice, I promise.
I love meeting people. Come talk to me.
I love meeting people too.
first.
Just don't ask me what my inspirations are.
Just look for the big afro.
Yeah, you can't miss Mark. He's just.
Yeah.
If you think you see Bob Ross cross your path, it's Mark.
It's not. It's me.
The Bob Ross revival.
Too soon. I don't want to talk about it.
It's been
Oh my God.
how many years? Over 20 or something?
I did older than me. I mean, I think actually. Oh, well, what else was I going to say? So with the 4 singles on Spotify, I think you said earlier about this kind of new music coming up. Are you going to drop an EP or a full-length album, or what's this plan, if you don't mind me asking?
So definitely an EP is what we're looking at right now.
Drop my keys.
Yeah, definitely an EP is what we're looking at now, so probably around 5 or 6 songs. There will be 2 songs that we've played at shows, and then we are currently in the process of writing a couple more songs for it. It's definitely going to be different than what my music is now that is released. People are probably going to be a little bit surprised, but it's going to be great. I'm so proud of what we're doing right now, so if I'm proud of it, you should know, because I am so self-critical.
Well, I love hearing that. You're proud of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that you have that, I think that's going to mean more authentic music.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
I believe.
Yeah, I think that before I was trying really hard to fit that singer-songwriter pop princess kind of vibe, I'm innocent and cute, and it's just not what I really fell in love with growing up music-wise.
Yeah.
And it's just not something, I love going to rock, punk shows and having bands go crazy on stage, and I've been to shows where bands spit on people, and I'm yeah,
like a G. What?
fucking lit. That shit's so great.
Gigi Allen did that, right? Is that who it was?
Oh my God, Gigi Allen was insane.
Oh,
He was crazy. We wouldn't go to those shows. Those shows are a little wild. Some people don't leave those shows. So
I think he's got sexual harassment charges every show he played. It was crazy.
He did, and people he would invite people up on stage to just beat the shit out of him. That's what he did.
He's like, you know what you signed up for.
That now. You just reminded me. That's gonna be my next show.
I'm so sorry for anyone that gets beat up.
Show up. No, they just beat me up. That's what you're supposed to. That's what he did. He invited people to beat him up on stage. Does nobody know what I'm talking about? I watched a documentary.
Yeah, that's what
sets. That's what sets artists apart. That there was something there.
Yeah,
there was something there.
He's crazy. I don't know what happened to him.
I think he's dead.
Yeah, but I mean, how?
He's gone.
Because I'm pretty sure. Okay, we just. Okay.
But biggest thing, you don't want to put yourself in a box. You don't want to get stuck in one.
Yeah. And especially with this new music, I'm trying to stay true to what I really want to do and how I want my music to turn out, because it's just been so difficult for me to voice my opinions about my own music, which is not something that should be, but it's something that does happen. So
right.
I just think that the music that is going to be coming out is definitely going to be more true to who I am as an artist. So.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
And I think it's good to see an artist. I think that shows growth when you're changing your sound, because I think that also just shows like, okay, well, this is what's going on in your mind. Like this is what.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's cool about music is you're literally showing the world like
Exactly.
what the hell you're thinking.
Exactly.
You know? And it's okay to change. And I think if people only want the same, it's going to get boring. It sucks. Like,
Yeah,
who wants,
for
who wants to
sure.
do
Yeah,
that?
artists have to
Exactly.
evolve. You know,
Yeah,
and-
definitely.
And people hate that sometimes, but that's like, I mean, that's what being creative is all
Hey,
about.
I still like Paramore. I'm still on the Paramore train.
But
Loved
even
After Laughter, man. It was a great
Linkin Park's
album.
first 2 albums were the worst ones. I liked everything after.
yeah,
Still
Is that too
into you.
even with like
I really think what he said, I
new
agree with him.
artists coming out today, like Billie Eilish, her stuff is so different. You also have to be able to stand out, but kind of stay within the mold still.
Yeah.
Push the boundaries, but not too far.
But not
Yeah.
fade into obscurity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, this is the part of the podcast where we showcase the acoustic performance we recorded with the artist. This is the song Skins by Frankie Soleil, presented by Craft and Vinyl.
Have you ever felt a pain inside so strong it puts you on the edge? Have you ever stayed up every night rethinking what those people said? There was a light inside the dark, just open up your eyes. You're not alone in this fight. I wanna take away your pain, 'cause I know what it's like to ache. Your story will go on, 'cause I know you're strong enough. Don't let the world get under your skin. You're worth more than lights that you can't let them win. Oh, 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 How could I know that you were letting go? And how could I see that you needed me to take away your pain? 'Cause I know what it's like to ache. Your story will go on, 'cause I'm so done. I won't let you get under my skin. I'm worth more than you say. I won't let you win. Oh, 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 oh. All you did was bring me back down, and all you did was push me around. And I'm so sorry, I couldn't handle it. And I'm so sorry, I couldn't deal with it. I can't fix everything, no matter how hard I try. I can't make you feel okay. That's all to you. We can't let the words get under
Now back to the podcast.
I mean, what do you think the biggest challenge is? Like, when you guys started the scene, I guess, like, what do you think that biggest challenge was for all of you?
Like starting in the music?
Yeah,
just in
like
the music?
we're working together.
Oh,
I guess.
working together?
Yeah. Sorry, I asked that super weird.
Probably just dealing with Bryan.
Yeah, probably.
Honestly,
Bryan,
when
are you
you
a
have someone
diva?
who FaceTimes you 5 times.
I don't think there were a lot of problems that we saw when we got together. Honestly, I think especially Bryan and I, we were extremely excited about working with Frankie.
Yeah.
And like starting a new project together and
I think
and continuing to make music. I don't think there was ever really much of a...
Even being previously in bands, like, we didn't have to worry about, like, getting any connections. Like,
Right.
we were able to
that's
use
like
the still
thing is
people.
we
Like,
kind of had
we
a
stayed in
lot.
contact with the
Yeah.
people that we knew, so it was like we were able to get a show pretty fast and at a good venue at Rumba Cafe. And, like, so yeah,
I think that
we
the
got
time,
lucky. We've been getting lucky on a lot of things.
Yeah, we
Hopefully this
have.
doesn't
Honestly,
crash
we
and
have.
burn.
Like,
that's
like
a good sign.
We're doing pretty good right now. So hopefully, like in the next month, we're still a band.
Next month comes around, we just see you guys like in a cardboard box outside of like
Honestly, at this
Kmart.
rate.
Like, what happened?
What happened? Yeah.
Our luck stopped. Bryan had to sell his gear.
Like I think that since we did have so many like connections on our own, like separately before we started playing together, it made our lives easier when we started. Like because we just used all the people we already knew and like used those resources, and it helped us out a lot.
And now we're kind of at the point where we're still using those people that we know, but we're also hoping to start branching out. And
Networking.
Exactly.
The
do
tour
stuff
was a really
like-
good opportunity
Yeah,
to start
definitely,
meeting people out of state.
Right.
Once we release our EP, as of now, the plan is to do kind of like a mini tour. We either doing like Dayton or Cincinnati, picking one of those, or maybe both. And
Never know. Stay tuned.
and then I think
3 C's straight down the 3C highway. Get them all.
yeah, and then to possibly go to Louisville, Kentucky, because we know someone there that could help us get a show.
That'd be pretty
and
sweet.
then
Nashville.
to Nashville.
Yeah. So is that like the dream to go to Nashville to do a show?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
If you know anyone, let us
I've
know.
played at the Bluebird Cafe in
Oh,
Nashville,
really?
so I technically have played in Nashville, but not like a show, just like a singer-songwriter.
You can't see, but I'm scolding Bryan with my eyes.
He's like, no.
He's like, no big deal.
I played a show in Nashville.
Mark's
played a show in Nashville.
Mark's just jealous because he hasn't played a show.
He's
in
like,
I mean,
instead of Frankie Soleil, just Bryan Soleil, really?
yeah.
Sorry, Frankie's sick. Bryan's going to be covering for the entire thing.
I mean,
right.
technically, I've played in Nashville too.
Yeah.
Brian,
Good for you.
you're not special.
So, here's a question for you, Frankie. What advice would you offer the solo artist? Like, do you think like that that's like, let's say, for example, they're scared to look out for a band because they're scared that someone else is going to change their music.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Oh my god. I would say like.
Embrace change, maybe.
I think that's a big thing. Is embrace change. Don't be afraid to like talk to people because okay. Most people aren't going to be dicks to you if you try and talk to them and ask. Most people, there might be some, but don't be afraid of those people. They're assholes and they don't deserve you. Sorry.
Thank you.
I'm trying to be motivational.
She's talking
here.
right to me, and I understand it all.
But it's like you can't be afraid to go out of your comfort zone because if you stay there, you'll never grow as an artist or a person. Like. I mean, I was afraid of Mark when I first met him, but now we're chilling.
intimidated.
The fro is intimidating.
I know.
It's like,
I know, like I thought he was gonna hate me.
That
but
adds
we're
like a
doing
good
great
3
now.
inches.
Yeah. Can I straighten your hair, please?
You have no idea how many people ask me that.
I would love to see that.
Please
I'm in on
straighten
that.
your
We'll,
hair. Like just once. You never have to do it again.
instead of an acoustic performance, Frankie is going to straighten his hair.
agreed to everyone's request, and no one has ever done it.
Bet I will do it.
We're gonna.
I don't have a straightener right now.
On the
but
podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna,
And Kindle has it. You can sign a paper. We have a liability paper. You got to sign it.
we're gonna acoustically straighten his hair instead of a performance.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But it's just like don't get discouraged when you get rejected by people or when people because sometimes when you're a solo artist, especially just starting out, people don't take you as seriously. And that's something you're going to have to deal with, like, no matter what you do in the music industry, because it's just, like, that's just what it is. It is what it is.
Right.
And you can't get discouraged by that, and you just have to keep going. Because there were times where I, like, really wanted to just quit, like, give up and stop, but I didn't, and that's really one of the most important things. You know,
I think this is another random question. I mean, no offense by this at all, because I meant to ask this to Leah from Joyride. Being a female-fronted group, do you think that brings its different challenges, you know, by being a female in the music industry?
Definitely. I think it does.
Really?
I mean, so far in the band, it hasn't been something I've really dealt with a lot. But there are things that I notice where when you're a female musician, like, the music industry is very male-dominated. Like, that's just the reality of it, and that's something that everybody either knows or should know. And so it can be difficult, and I've had a lot of times where I haven't been taken as seriously as male artists, and it's been very, very obvious. Another thing that you have to worry about when you're a female solo artist, or even, like, in a band, is people being creeps.
Oh,
like,
I'm sure
I've
That's
had,
what I was just about to ask.
yeah, I've had people, like, follow me to my car after shows and, like, stuff like that. So
that's absolutely
like,
awful
I would
to hear. I'm so
I would
sorry.
always bring somebody to a show with me.
Sure.
Because most of my shows were downtown at bars when I was a solo artist, stuff like that, and I was young. And so, like, I've had I think the first, like, 2 shows I did downtown, I was followed by, like, people after shows, and I've been, like, you know, catcalled and stuff like that. It's just, there are always going to be people who do that. You just can't let it get to you, and don't walk to your car by yourself. There you go. Problem solved. But as for, like, being in a band, I don't think I've seen it, like, noticed it as much.
I was going to say, I don't think we had any of those issues.
Yeah, I mean,
tour at all.
I think that there were times where I definitely felt a little bit less respected. Like, I feel like there were some times where people would talk to you more than they, like, would talk to me, and I'm supposed to be, like, the front of the band, which doesn't bother me. Like, it doesn't really get to me, but it's just a thing that I have noticed.
They didn't talk to me at all, so.
It's the intimidating fro. We already covered that.
But it's just, like, so that's kind of a thing. But other than that, it's, like, not really. Like, being in a band with them, there were times where I'd feel uncomfortable, like, being in certain places because I'd get people, like, just staring at me. But that's just being a woman in general. Like, that's just being female. That's just something you have to deal with. That's not necessarily being a female musician. So yeah,
For sure. Now, I want to, to start to wrap up here, one of the last things I wanted to cover, out of the shows that you did, were there any shows that, like, stuck out to you in particular that went really well? Or
our Columbus show was hands down the best show
other than our
we've
Columbus
ever
show,
had.
though.
Other than our Columbus.
Well, I mean, you can cover. Okay, we'll cover both then. We'll talk about the Columbus show first.
Yeah.
The Columbus show is great. I think we sold the most tickets we've ever sold. We played at Victories.
Okay.
So we filled like 3/4 of the room.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how many that room holds, but, like, we were pretty close.
Pretty packed. It was a really great show, and, like, everyone's energy was great.
Yeah.
Like, people came out and showed up, which was awesome because, like,
a really interactive crowd.
Yeah, and even, like, people who brought their friends who I didn't know and stuff like that. It was just a really, really cool night.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We had I think our Battle Creek show we played for a decent amount of people in Battle Creek, Michigan. That was a really cool venue.
Yeah,
that was the biggest
cool.
venue we played the entire tour.
And what's that place called that you played at?
The Music Factory.
The Music Factory.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was
that
a cool
place
venue.
is really cool. It's in a weird location, but it's a really cool venue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Cincinnati, after we played, we found out we were in the worst part of Cincinnati. People were like, People were like, don't go outside by yourself.
Like,
don't go outside in a
That's
group.
right outside of
Don't go
university.
outside.
Just don't go outside.
Yeah.
Just stay right there.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like a ghost town with all the college students.
It's
That's all I'm
pretty
gonna
gnarly
say.
down
It's
there.
like,
Yeah,
It
so
is.
yeah.
Like,
we're
you have
definitely
college
gonna-
and then
We'll probably
awfulness.
try to play that venue again, but definitely when college is in,
Right.
And well, pretty much now.
Yeah.
But
Pretty
so
much
then we
now.
can get some of the college crowd and stuff there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But
That was the only thing
I can't even remember the shows at this point.
I'm sure once you do like that many shows,
I'm over it.
I'm like,
A lot
my
of them
brain's
blend
just not
together.
working
especially
today.
like in that
Empire
span
Club?
of time, you're going
Empire
like,
Club.
at our first show of the tour.
I just remember the venue name and then.
No, I just remember it had a nice green room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And then it had a bunch of WWE movies.
Yeah.
Well, we
and-
weren't technically going to be
Yeah,
playing there.
we
because
showed up
weren't.
to the Akron show, and they were like, "Oh, you guys aren't playing tonight."
Yeah.
And we were like,
we
just
drove here.
drove
We better
like
be
2.5
playing."
hours. I'm playing tonight."
yeah.
Yeah. So we got to play last.
Yeah.
Wait, what made why would
There's just some confusion.
Just
with
like
the
a
booking.
Yeah,
Communication,
yeah,
yeah.
something got messed up and they just didn't know we were touring with Spence. So
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
we
then,
showed up and-
At the first show in Mishawaka, Indiana, we showed up and there was no sound guy, so
Yeah.
we were running our own sound.
There you go. That's where Bryan jumps in. That's what recording workshop pays
with
off.
the mixer, it was like a 4-channel mixer with cables to the mains that were about 10 feet long. So the cables were back by the drums, so no one was running sound other than the drummer who was behind the mains, and like. Yeah, and
it was a good time.
not
I don't know
everyone
how to
knows how
run
to run
sound.
sound either.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like it was a little bit of a mess.
Gotcha.
So it was a little bit of a rough start, but after that
It was
fine.
fun though.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it was a fun show.
It was an interesting night.
Yeah,
I think that makes it worth it in itself.
Honestly, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicago was fun. It was our last show. It wasn't like there weren't a lot of people because it was Lollapalooza, so it was like
Okay.
The
Yeah, you
timing
got to
was
compete
not
with
great.
something like that.
yeah.
But just being in Chicago was nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know. My
It was a
family
nice
came to that
venue.
one. Yeah.
We had a nice show.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
I
was-
think for all these all the gigs we had great shows. I mean, we all
Yeah.
played really well, and I mean there were no noticeable screw ups. I
Yeah.
think in any of
And
the-
even like the last two shows where I didn't have a voice, like we still did pretty
yeah.
well.
Yeah,
like,
some
I think
people even
that's-
told me that like they liked Frankie's voice that way. Not saying that's how it should always be, but like they're like it was
Frankie,
kind of
get
it was cool to
laryngitis
like
again.
you'll get laryngitis
one to see
every
her
time.
one to see her pushing through illness.
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
also the fact that I just sounded raw and like not
Right.
so pretty.
Right.
Raw.
Yeah, but like even those shows, like they went well. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, awesome. So I guess the last thing, if you can tell the listener anything about your guys' project, what would it be?
Follow me on Instagram at
Stay
Frankie
tuned.
Soleil, and we're gonna be releasing music soon. So like,
Yeah, so check us out
You
on
should
Spotify,
definitely check us out.
Apple Music, iTunes.
Gotta have the before and after. So,
Yeah.
So listen to the singles now.
yeah, and then
a lot. Listen to them a lot.
listen to them a lot. Like
Yeah.
get those listens up, and then
And then
when the
listen
EP
to
comes
the
out,
EP a lot.
just like
Yeah.
stream the fuck out of that.
and
shit.
you
Okay.
can see the difference.
Yeah, put
Yeah.
on your
And then-
playlist. Put on your friend's
playlist.
playlist.
And
put
come
on
to
your
our
grandma's
shows.
Playlist.
Playlist.
Put on your mom's playlist.
Your mom's running playlist.
Yeah, we would love your moms to show up at the show. We're down for that.
Especially Bryan.
Brian is
Yeah,
down.
Brian Brian's like, all moms are welcome.
Moms are.
My girlfriend's gonna kill me.
Yeah. He's like, we can edit that. We'll buff out the scratches, Brian. Little SpongeBob reference.
Follow Bryan on Instagram at
He
Milf
said
Meat.
it.
Yeah, all moms are welcome. Brian,
Follow Mark so you can see his one Instagram
yeah,
post.
Mark doesn't post on Instagram.
What's up?
Yeah, moms can follow me at Bryan_Ream.
I can't review.
Everyone else is welcome too, but yeah,
Especially moms.
Especially
moms,
moms.
please, moms.
School's back in session.
Yeah.
Kids are going to school. And it's just
So much free time.
before this gets any worse, we thank you for listening, everyone. When you share our content, it really does mean a lot. You're supporting the scene. Support the community. That supports your community. Thank you. And this is an Enkindled podcast. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening to episode 10 of the podcast with Frankie Soleil. If you like what we're doing, show us some love on Instagram and Facebook at Enkindled Columbus. But most importantly, get out there and support your local music scene. If you like free stuff, now's your chance to win a $25 gift card to Dirty Frank's and a $25 gift card to Transcend Coffee. Details are on our Instagram page. Last, but most definitely not least, here is Frankie, Bryan, and Mark's acoustic performance of Control.
Hi, my name's Frankie Soleil. This is Bryan and Mark, and this song is called Control. seen it before, you don't have the answers. You wanna be right, you're keeping the score, running in circles, and they don't mind. If you fake it on stage, just close the door to you. You get what you want and you don't have to lose. Don't know what it's like to feel broken and bruised. Fabricate scars cause your life is too dull. It's over your head now, you've lost all control. Voice in your head, screaming out loud, you'd rather be dead now. Self-medicate, you know that it's wrong, you don't have a choice now. You're starting to cave, the needle it comes out. You get what you want and you don't have to lose. Don't know what it's like to feel broken and bruised. Fabricate scars cause your life is too dull. It's over your head now, you've lost all control. Your life is too dull. It's over your head now. You've lost all control.